Hey guys, good morning. We are out here in the garden. It is bright and sunny, which I'm not complaining. We're gonna get ready to do some planting today. I have some stuff direct sown indoors, or transplant seeds indoors, and most of those I have planted outside. There's still some flowers and stuff that we have left to plant out, but today we're going to be doing some direct sowing. So if you're not familiar with direct sowing, is just when you plant it right outside into the soil. The transplants you start indoors from seed and trays, and then you plant them out after, typically after the last frost has passed. So yeah, so we're gonna get started with some direct sowing. I'm gonna start over in my first plot over here, and that has a lot of like onions and kale, spinach, lettuce, beans, peppers, tomatoes, and then it also has my medicinal garden that will be doing some beneficial plantings in there as well. So we're gonna start there, and then we'll move on to 2 rows of corn. And then we'll do my third plot here, which is more of like the melons and squashes, zucchini, acorn, that kind of stuff, along with broccolis, cauliflowers, that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and get started with subplot 1. I'll do a couple time lapses so you can kind of see my routine for doing it. And as you've seen the table already that had all my seeds, after I go through and plant, I will take pictures. I gotta kind of see what I have room for as I get in there, but everything has been already pre-mapped out. During the winter, before the season begins, I go through, figure out how many seeds I need total of each vegetable. And then I just kind of grab the varieties that I have within my inventory, see if I need more of anything. So I already have everything mapped out, where it's gonna go and how many I would need, and made sure that I had enough seeds for that. So I know exactly where things are going. I just don't know, I gotta kind of get in there and figure out spacing and how many I can get in within that specific variety. So that's how I do it. I can kind of give you a rundown with the time lapse, kind of show you how I go through. And yeah, so we'll get started. Okay, so we're here in the first plot, and I have laid down here my seed packets. And what I do is I go through and I grab like one vegetable, like say beans, and I go through and I lay them out. Like on each side of the drip tape here, I'll do this one kind of seed packet. That is the tongue of fire bush beans. And then on the other side of that drip tape, on each side, I will do the other, that's the tongue of fire beans. And so I kind of place things where I want them to be planted. And I'll come over here. Same thing with this side. I lay down my packets. And then on the pole beans, I go through and I just lean them against the trellis here. You can kind of see it leaned up there. Same thing on this side. I have to go through and I'm gonna dry out the seeds from this cabbage here, but that'll get pulled out. And then I go through and I just kind of weed out any remaining weeds that are in there before or during the planting of the seeds. Same thing for this side. We're gonna do the trio of beans on each side here, this whole bed. And I do have some lettuce here in the front that's already started, that goes all the way down. And so we're just gonna let that continue to grow in front while the beans go through and grow behind that. And then same thing here. I have the Blue Lake bush bean down here at the bottom. And then leaning against the trellis here, I have the Kentucky Wonder pole beans. And I'm gonna do those pole beans on this trellis as well as on that trellis. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so you saw the time lapse. We went ahead and wrapped up all the beans. Like I said, we went through and kind of placed everything where we wanted it. And then we just kind of poked a hole and then covered it up. We did about 6 to 12 inches of spacing. And then what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll thin that out as I know which seeds are gonna germinate for sure. And then what I'll do now is I'll go through and I'll take a quick video for myself of what I did where. That way I can go inside and document which one went in each spot on each bed. And I have these outlined: bed A, bed B, bed C. These are beds like L, M, and O. And those are usually my bean beds. So I'll go through and I'll document all of that, write it down. I'll notice any types of, kind of make a note of any like bug, pest infestations, things that did well, things that didn't go well. And then that way moving forward, I'll know what works best for us within our climate, in our location, where our home is. So, I gardened in Arizona and I gardened in Ohio, and I am still getting used to. We had 1 year of growing season right when we bought the house and closed on the land. We put this garden in. So I have a little bit of what works, what doesn't, but not for every single thing because I didn't plant everything. So anyway, anything you want to add?
Comment below if you have a garden or not.
Yeah, so let us know if you garden, if you are just getting into gardening, what your experience has been, and where you're located. We'd love to know where you're coming from. So anyway, we're gonna go through and move on to tomatoes and peppers. Some of my transplants didn't make it because we had a frost, so we're gonna go through, patch those in, what's missing, and then we'll continue on with onions, leeks, what else? Perennial flowers, just all sorts of stuff, and I'll show you guys some pictures and stuff of what we're doing. So anyways, we're gonna continue on. I don't know if I can see it. Actually, I think we're gonna go through. My tomatoes are inside, so let's do the celery. We'll take all the celery and leeks. We'll do those. Celery and leeks. And onions. Right here. We'll start with that.
Is there a lot of water in there? Is it full? Yeah, it's full. I'm sure they're always full now.
Okay, so I got everything wrapped up. I wanted to mention that one of the things that I do is I succession sow. Succession sowing is going through and planting a portion of what you want to start out with. Here in North Carolina, we have a long growing season, so typically things, depending on their days to harvest window, we can get about 2 harvests worth of most things. So what I do is I go through and I plant a portion of what I want, and then about every week to 2 weeks, depending on how often we eat that specific crop, I'll go through and I will plant out some more seeds. One of the tools that I use is a computer software program called Seed Time. Seed Time has been amazing in that it enables me to go through and put all the different types of plants and crops and all the information. Some information's already in that software. other things that are not quite in there yet, I do go through and manually type in. That helps me stay on track with what I'm planting. It helps me keep on track with inventory. There's also a garden designer program on there that you can use. And so it goes through, and it also helps me to keep track of the tasks that I'm going to be doing according to which different type of variety that I'm planting. So I do the succession sowing, to ensure that we have that specific thing throughout the year. So say like lettuce, you don't want a ton of lettuce at one time, but you want enough for say that week or 2 weeks, and then another batch of it for like salads or sandwiches, things like that. So I go through and do just a portion of that, and then I just succession sow each week or 2 weeks or month thereafter. So anyways, I wanted to mention that. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.